Sweet tea. If you're from the South, you're surely familiar with it. If not, well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. Very sweet iced tea. So why am I, a native Californian, sitting here drinking it? Well, it just so happens that it is the perfect accompaniment for my favorite Southern food, fried chicken. Now, when I say I love fried chicken, I really mean it. Let's put it this way. If I was on a deserted island and I could only have one food that I would eat for the duration of my stay, this, my friends, would be it. So, if you're guessing that I'm going to give you a foolproof recipe for an authentic version of Southern fried chicken, you'd be right. But in order to do that, we must first turn back the clock. Well, as you can see, I am in my jammies. What? You guys don't all wear sleeping caps to bed? Okay. Anyway, it is my bedtime, and that means it is also time to start our chicken making process for tomorrow. As you can see in front of me here, I have a large plastic bag filled with chicken wings that I have washed and patted dry. Now, I've decided to go with just chicken wings for tomorrow's recipe because, well, everyone loves them and they're really easy to cook up. This is buttermilk, and this is the first key to our chicken making success. All we need to do is pour our buttermilk over our chicken. No salt, no pepper, nothing else. And once that's in there, I'm going to seal up my plastic bag. And I've got it inside a baking dish here to prevent against any leakage. I'm going to stick it in the fridge. And for now, I am done. All that's left to do is to go to bed. Too funny, too funny. But all kidding aside, buttermilk is serious business. It imparts a tangy sweetness to the flavor of the meat, and it actually helps tenderize it. The result is very succulent fried chicken. Speaking of which, it's time to fry. Wait. One more thing. If you forget to soak your chicken in buttermilk, or let's say you decide at the last second that you want to make fried chicken, don't bypass the buttermilk step. A wise man once said, "A bath for an hour and two in buttermilk is better than no bath at all." Actually, it was me who said that. Just right now. Never mind. Let's fry. Before our chicken gets to its final destination of the frying pan, we need to bread it. Yes, I said bread it. Authentic Southern fried chicken does not utilize a batter, and I agree with this notion. Batter is very heavy, and it gets in the way of the flavor of the chicken. Now, in front of me, you'll notice that I have my breading station set up. Here is a sheet pan that has my chicken that has been soaking in buttermilk, and I've allowed it to drain in a colander. This is just a bag, and it's got nothing but all-purpose white flour in it. And then an empty sheet pan that I've lined with a little bit of parchment paper. Now, we're going to start by liberally seasoning our chicken with a mixture of kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and a little bit of cayenne. And I'm a very big fan of these little pizza shakers. They work very well. I'm also a big fan of seasoning the meat directly as opposed to seasoning the flour. And the reason is it brings more flavor to the meat, and once it gets rolled in flour, there will be a protective coating around it that'll keep the spices from burning once they reach the hot oil. And we'll give it all a flip. Okay, now that they're turned over, we're going to get the other side. And, don't be afraid to liberally season. You'd be surprised at how much seasoning these wings will take. And it's going to be a lot harder to over-season these, trust me. Okay, now that our meat is seasoned, it's time for the flour. And what we're going to do here is we're going to work with 2 wings at a time. Just drop them inside the bag. Zip it up. Give them a little shake. And then you do want to dust off any excess flour. And then onto your sheet pan. Now, you're going to repeat this with all of the wings until they're all done. And there you go. Okay, our breading is complete, but our chicken is still not ready to fry. We're going to need to let this sit for about 10 minutes. Doing so will ensure that your breading adheres itself to the skin during the frying process, and it gives us a chance to heat up our oil. Okay, you noticed I said oil, right? Well, traditional southern fried chicken is normally cooked in vegetable shortening. And while shortening yields some pretty terrific tasting chicken, it does come along with some baggage, namely trans fats. So we're going to take an alternate, little more healthy route, and I'm going with peanut oil. It's got a nice clean flavor and also a high smoke threshold, which means it won't burn. Now, this is a cast iron pan, and it is the Southern cook's implement of choice when it comes to frying chicken. And you'll notice that my peanut oil is about maybe, half an inch to 3/4 of an inch up the side. Since chicken takes longer to cook than most things you normally drop into hot oil, we're going to want our cooking temperature to be a little on the lower side in terms of deep frying. In this case, the magic number is anywhere between 325 and 350. Now, according to my fry thermometer, I'm at 350 degrees, but that's perfect. As soon as I drop my chicken in here, the temperature is going to drop, so I want to be a little on the higher side. So it's time to start frying. And I'm going to go with about 4 or 5 per batch. Now, I've dropped my chicken and I'm setting a timer for 8 minutes. Now, probably won't take 8 minutes for this chicken to cook, but it's a good gauge. Now, aside from keeping an eye on our cooking temperature and adjusting the flame to make sure that we stay in our target range, about every minute, minute and a half, you want to flip the chicken over and rotate it around a little bit. And what this is going to do is this is going to ensure that it cooks evenly and that it browns evenly. Okay, we are at about 7 minutes on our timer, and this chicken's looking perfect, so I'm going to take it out. Now you'll notice I'm setting it on a rack here that's on top of a sheet pan with a paper bag underneath. This is going to allow it to stay nice and crispy while it's cooling down. While it's still hot, however, I'm going to season with a little bit more of that fried chicken seasoning from earlier. This, my friends, is a great meal. Southern fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread, sweet tea. You know, the recipes for all of these will be in the article, so please give it a look-see. I think the thing I like about fried chicken the best is its ability to be eaten hot, warm, room temperature, even cold, which makes it great for feeding a lot of people. Ryan, what are you doing? Okay, I know I said it was great for feeding a lot of people, but you just took chicken off my plate. Do you think you can ask the next time? I'll take that as a yes. Let this be a reminder. Make a lot of chicken. I think you're going to need it. And one more thing you need to do, keep reading you.